So can the Yankees actually trade Giancarlo Stanton? What are the chances, the possibilities? Could they make could they pull this off? Right? And there's a lot of different opinions on this. And a lot of people want him gone, but the contract that he's on makes it very unmovable. But there are some teams that could represent fits and intriguing options as well. But definitely good geographical and just good team locations should he be willing to waive his no trade. He's got a full no trade clause. So let's just keep that in mind right now. So he's going to have to be a willing participant in a move here. And we know he's from the West Coast already. So West Coast teams are going to have the advantage. I guess certain West Coast teams. So, but I want to go over some teams. I want to know what you think. So, by the way, if you want to keep up, be kept up to the date on all Yankee stuff and all baseball stuff, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I thank you for both. And but this one's an interesting one because this could really be a roadblock or open up money for the Yankees to move to move a player that is really not a fit there the way they need him to be a fit there anymore. And it can really bring some value to some other teams. But I want to know what you think. I'm looking down because I want to make sure I get my info right. So Dodgers represent the first team. Obviously, they're an obvious fit. They have money to spend. They have prospects to deal, and I think a lot of it hinges on whether they're going to get a Shohei Ohtani or not. We don't know if they're going to get him or not. If they don't, maybe they'll have a bigger appetite to get a Stanton. Or maybe if they do get an Ohtani, they'll want to add Stanton to that and really, really facilitate them. Then I don't know when in the world they will play him in the outfield or DH or first base or I don't know. I don't know what they would do with him. But again, you know, he's from Sherman Oaks, which is nearby. So, and he was with the Dodgers were the only other team aside from the Yankees that he was willing to waive his no trade clause for. So, I could see that, and they've been aggressive recently with baseball moves, and they're obviously trying to put themselves in position to win every year, and he could be a big piece for them. He really, really could. Um, their payroll's around 240 million, so it's lower than the Yankees. It's still high. But that obviously will go up if they sign Shohei Ohtani. But we'll see what happens. There's no guarantee they're going to sign Shohei Ohtani. I think they're going to be in a running for him. They're going to have to re-sign Julio Urias too. So they have some moves that they need to make this offseason in order to put themselves in a position to really, really lock down that NL West, which they haven't really done that yet. So, but they've won a recent World Series and in 2020. So they're trying to win. They're trying to win another one, obviously, as are a bunch of other teams. But the Dodgers see, and they have a lot of prospects too. So could they get a couple of prospects, maybe some pitching prospects for Stanton? Probably. Even if and I think if the Yankees are willing to eat some of the money in the deal, they'll get a better prospect package in return, which would be a good idea for them. So the better the prospect return you can get, the better off the Yankees are going to be. And again, pitching prospects they have a lot of prospects all across the board, but they do have some depth in pitching prospects, and the Yankees need some high end pitching prospects. So to add to the stable that they already have. So the Dodgers represent probably a type of if not the top fit, right? And they're a phenomenal fit. Now if you go across to San Diego, you got the Padres. Probably not as likely as the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are aggressive. The Padres are usually aggressive too. So, and they're not hesitant to add another big name and a big bat to that team. And they don't really have an everyday DH over there, the Padres right now. So he could be a fit there as well. And there's some prospects that they could get back too. If they're willing to eat some money. And I think any deal with the Yankees when they move Stanton is going to have to involve the Yankees eating some money. And again, it makes sense. It makes sense to do it. But these teams could have a fit for him. They also have prospects. They have finances. These Padres are not afraid to spend. And again, this is a rival of the Dodgers. So they did that. It could honestly turn into a bidding war. We just don't know. We just don't know. But it would be fascinating to see Padres, Dodgers, and so on and so forth. So let me know what you think. I mean, who would you be willing to give up if you're Dodgers or even the Padres? Well-run organizations, right? Again, aggressive organizations, um, hungry for players like this. And I think, a change of scenery might do Stanton some good. I don't think the Yankees have gotten enough out of him. Um, and I think if he got into a change of scenery and he stayed healthy, he could probably hit that 500 home run plateau and really, really solidify his Hall of Fame case. So he's knocking on the door of 400 right now. So, and he's got 3 years left on his deal, or 4 years left on his deal. It's 4 years, about just under $120 million. So, and for the next 3 years, the the Marlins are supposed to be eating $10 million a year. So if the Yankees were willing to, let's just say, throw in another $5 million or whatever, now you're getting them for pretty much half the price or even less than that on acquiring teams. That's a worthwhile risk for some teams. It really, really is. So Padres and the Dodgers. I'm not even crosstown. I'm not even wasting my time. I don't think it's a fit for the Mets. I don't think it's. I don't think it makes any sense at all. So, but then I would go to the Angels. So, especially if Ohtani leaves, they're going to need another premier name to go with Mike Trout and some of the other players. Stanton represents that. Still staying on the West Coast. They're also an aggressive team, and they want to compete in the AL West. Texas is being very aggressive. Houston's very aggressive. And in order for the Angels to facilitate that or be competitive, they're going to need more arms and more bats. So Stanton can represent fit. And again, if they can get him at a fraction of the price, why would they not do it? They can find a fit for him. They really could. So, and they've saddled themselves recently with some big contracts that have been onerous for them. But losing Shohei Ohtani is going to be a big blow for them. So they're going to need to somehow replace him in his production to a degree. Stanton would have to do that. So let me know what you're thinking of the Angels. That to me is a kind of an underrated and intriguing fit, in my opinion. And again, he goes back home, California, if he does that. And again, former Yankees coach too, Phil Nevin, was there. He's the manager now, so he has familiarity with the coaching staff over there as well. So that also represents a nice little intriguing fit for him too. But so now we talked about the Dodgers, we talked about the Padres, we talked about the Angels, okay? And and here's the too, one owner that's crazy enough to probably fork up the money for him and to make a trade like that is already Moreno. So Cashman would be smart to call Moreno to see if he can swing the deal. He'd be really smart to do that. He really, really would. You go for you call the crazy guys. Guys are ballsy enough to do it. You call them, see what the appetite is. If he says yes, you got to move right there. And again, you can clear that money off the Yankees payroll. It opens up so many more possibilities for the Yankees. It really, really does. And lastly, to me, as a team, Texas Rangers. They're in the West, but they're in the South. They're in like the Southwest. Very aggressive. Okay, spinning new stadium. They're bringing power bats everywhere. They're bringing arms everywhere. And let's just say you can get a Jack Leiter or somebody like that in return in a trade. Like that could be nice. Get the Yankees a good-looking pitching prospect who might be better off with a change of scenery. Let him work with Matt Blake for a while. Yankees could have a really high-end former first-round pick from Vanderbilt in their pitching stable to develop for the rotation. So Texas represents a fit for me too, I think. So to me, it's the Dodgers, the Angels, the Padres, and Texas Rangers represent probably the four best fits. And again, with their aggressive nature too, their spending habits and their new stadium, them wanting to be competitive in the NL West, so they're going to have to beat teams like the Angels and the Houston Astros, and they've been doing that recently. Adding a bat like Stanton helps them achieve that goal too, and they can find room for him on their roster easier than the Yankees could find room for them on their roster, and it's a more natural fit, in my opinion. So, but let me know what you think of that. Those four teams. I think these four teams are possible trade partners for the Yankees. Whoopsie daisies. Excuse me. Sorry. I just tilted my laptop over. Sorry about that, gang. Just tilted it over. But they represent intriguing fits for me, and I think they have the resources and the willingness to facilitate something like this. It would shake up baseball, but it would do. I think it would also do wonders for the Yankees. You know, I thank Stanton for his contributions here. Just unfortunately hasn't panned out as much as we needed to and wanted it to. But at the right time, it was the right trade for them to make. He was coming off 59 home run, MVP season, and Yankees needed that. They got him for cheap. They traded Starlin Castro and the Marlins to offset some money. I know people are pissed off about not getting Machado or Bryce Harper or whatnot, but that was the move for them right there. Saved them a lot of money. Unfortunately, now the contract has turned into a little bit of an albatross, but Stan's still putting up. He'll still put up his 25 and 30 home runs a year. I think if you surround them with a little bit of a deeper lineup like those other teams have, he'd probably put up 30 or 35. And to me, that's good value for those teams. So let me know what you think of that. Let me know what you think of that. I think it's intriguing, gang. Let's talk about it. Load up the comments. Talk to y'all later.